Yeah.
Yes, you have a rose, but God has a dozen to give you.
God has a garden.
He has a garden.
Even like we were talking about marriage. Maybe that's not your story.
Yeah.
Maybe you're meant to marry your ministry.
Yes.
You never know.
Yep.
You never know.
Welcome to the Heart Helper Podcast, a spiritual space where we share extraordinary stories from everyday, ordinary people, because we truly believe that inspiration is far greater than influence.
Hi, guys. Welcome back to the Heart Helper Podcast. I am your host, Jody Smith, and we are on episode 26. And today I am super excited, super honored. I have a lovely woman who I met while I was going to college in Tallahassee when I was going to FAMU. I met this woman, and I'll just start with giving her flowers. This is Carnesia Anderson, the owner of Brownstone Aesthetics, and she has always been a friend. I think if there was a definition of a friend, she would be, her picture's right next to that definition. She's always a person you could be around and your nervous system feels at ease. You feel comfort. You're just a blessing.
Make me cry.
You've literally always been a blessing.
Whoa.
Yeah, no. So I was going
you.
to tell you yesterday when we were having our girls talk, but I was like, you know what? I want to publicly tell you and publicly thank you because you've literally always been a friend. And you've been the same since we were 19 to 37. Mm-hmm. Girl, not we 37.
Same.
Girl,
Same.
not we 37, houseway. But you've literally always been a consistent friend, always been the same. So I'm thankful for you.
I'm thankful for you.
Yay.
I really am. You've always been a blessing to me, so I'm appreciative as well.
And I'm thankful that you could be here. So
Yes.
Thank you for being a guest. So Carnesia Anderson,
Hello.
owner of Brownstone Aesthetics. So let's get started. So if any of you see me, 97% of the time, I always have on a red lip. And I always have red nails because that's just who I am as a person. But there was a time where I never wore a red lip and I only wore that hair store lip gloss. And Carnesia is a lovely makeup artist and she used to do my makeup before the club. She worked at MAC and she's like, well, just try this red lip. I'm like, girl, no, my lips are too big for that. You're like, just try it.
Yep.
Tried it. And as you guys could see, you've seen the episode, I typically always have on a red lip and it is because of her.
Oh, thank you,
So
Jody.
where does this love of makeup come from?
So it's one of those things that just kind of fell in my lap. Honestly, it's nothing I asked for, but that's why I think I know it was from God.
Mm-hmm.
No lie, I started off working at Estee Lauder.
I love Estee Lauder.
I just thought it would have been really cool. It was like a cool makeup job. And before that, so I did Estee Lauder. Then I went to Victoria's Secret. A lot of people don't know, but they used to sell makeup.
Oh, their lip gloss was the best.
Good lip gloss and really good pressed powder.
Oh, I didn't try
It was
pressed powder.
really, really good. Aura Science, I think was the name. But I'm working in there, and this is always the cue to do your best because you just never know who's watching you.
Absolutely. Message.
I'm in there working, and I'm like giving customer service, speaking to people, and a lady stops me, and she's like, have you ever applied for MAC? And I was like, no. I was like, I heard you have to talk to some lady named Maria. Like, she was like, I'm Maria.
Oh my goodness.
I said, what? She said, give me your portfolio. Now, I had never done makeup, only just sold makeup. Mm-hmm. But MAC was the thing. That was all we had.
That was the go-to.
That was a go-to.
Yes.
Now you have so many brands, but MAC was what it was.
That girl. Yeah.
So I stayed up to 3:00 that morning, made a portfolio. I invited my friends over. I did their makeup, made a portfolio, got the job, and it has been literally makeup since then.
What does a portfolio consist of? Is it like just taking pictures, putting it together, and showing your work?
Yes.
Okay.
So I just did makeup. I took pictures, and I, put my own personal touch on it. And back then, I'm like giving her a book.
Here you go.
Now you would use Canva. But
Yeah. But you did what you could.
I did what I could with what I had.
Truly.
Yes.
And that's where that love started.
Yes.
Because you were sensational at it.
Thank you.
And I remember getting our makeup done before the club, but I feel like you were just so innovative before people knew what like innovation in makeup was.
Yes.
Because I'm like, girl, just do what you want.
Yeah.
And literally you taught me to love makeup.
Thank you.
And even knowing how to do my eyebrows, you're like, okay, you need to put a highlight. I'm
And
like,
you've done well.
oh my, thank you.
You've
Thank
done
you.
well.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. So from the love of makeup, is that what made you want to start Brownstone Aesthetic, where you did do makeup for other people?
It did. Again, being that makeup was something that I didn't choose, I've always tried to run from it in a way. And so I said, okay, after I had my son, I was like, I need more than just kind of working in the mall.
Yeah.
And I need my weekends with him.
Period.
So I said, well, I want to do something where I'm still working with people and I get to still serve people. So I thought about doing real estate. That just didn't work.
You didn't love it.
It didn't work. It didn't, stick to my mind. It wasn't something I wanted to do.
Yeah.
So I had to just really think and dig deep. I'm like, you know what? Makeup is what it is. That's what people know you by.
Yeah.
No lie to you, it's so weird. Even though I always try to run away from makeup, it was those times where I really needed the money or something. People would book me. It would come out of nowhere. Naturally. So I'm like, okay, this is God-given. I have to do something with it. So with that, I'm like, well, let's build some services. Let's make it more than just makeup, because I'm really big on customer service. And Brownstone is like the house of beauty almost. So it's makeup, and it's about being beautiful on the outside, inside, and all around you.
I love that.
So smudge sticks, as well as makeup, and even therapy eventually soon. When I become a licensed therapist, I want to, just practice and give beauty all around.
So it's like a one-stop shop for all things beautiful. And I love that you mentioned it's about being beautiful on the outside and the inside. Because a lot of times you could be beautiful on the outside, but your inside is not ugly. It's ugly. And I feel like being beautiful on the inside is even more important than being beautiful on the outside.
It is.
So to you, what does being beautiful on the inside, like what does that look like to you?
Being beautiful on the inside is loving people and they don't even know. We live in a world where everyone has to show what they're doing, tell what they're doing. I did this and need, praise for it.
Yeah.
But have you ever just saw someone and prayed for them and didn't tell anybody? Have you ever passed someone and said, excuse me? Or, it's the little things like that. It's about being beautiful, to people. Because we don't know what people are going through.
Yeah. And everyone's going through something.
Everyone has a story.
Everyone's going through something. I feel like being beautiful on the inside is showing people a little piece of your God. Yeah. Showing the people a little piece of the God that's in you. Because I know, God's in all of us.
Yes.
And but it's like, how do you depict that to people?
Wow.
How do you make people feel? When they're around you, do you feel like a safe space?
Yep.
And you got God in you. Truly, because you do feel like a safe space.
And I'm glad you even brought God in the picture. Because I was wondering how to transition that when I said, when no one's watching, that's what he wants us to do.
Yeah.
And that kind of pushed me out of the whole traditional realm of church. I don't go to church, but I'm God.
Yeah.
When I'm walking, when I'm at work, when I'm in my relationship, when I'm with my son, I'm doing what God would do. What he would want me to do.
And you are the church.
Yes.
Some people will never step foot in a church, but they'll get to know God through you.
Yes.
Like, you know what? I met Carnesia and she prayed for me, or she fed me, or she let me stay over when I had nowhere else to go.
Or like your home, the energy.
The energy. Listen, I love to have a safe space.
Your house is a safe space.
And I do that intentionally. When people come, I'm like, well, what do you want to eat? Even my brother was here last week. He was like, Jody, I just love coming here.
It's nice.
He's like, you're just so cozy. Please do come back. Please do. So I don't want to breeze over. So I know you did makeup. You have your own company, but I know that you're going to school to get your master's for social work. Where did that kind of come into play with everything else you had going on?
Okay. So with Brownstone Aesthetic, we got to pay the bills. Okay.
Then that's on period.
And that's on Barack.
That's
okay.
on period.
So
Mama gotta eat, baby gotta eat
we
too.
gotta eat, honey.
Okay.
We gotta, get it together.
Yes.
So, I was in case management in the legal field, working for a Black attorney, locally, which was really beautiful. She was a sweet person, really good go-getter. But I got the opportunity to move into case management, child welfare. No experience. My bachelor's was in communications.
Mine too.
Nice.
Yes.
Write it down.
Truly.
And you're doing it.
Yes.
Go, Jody.
Still owe them loans.
Go
but
Heart Helper.
Go Heart Helper. Truly.
So I got the job. OMG. OMG, child welfare case management.
That sounds like it's heavy.
It's heavy.
Yeah.
But it's an area that people need to be more aware of. And even though the job was hard, I committed to it. I made sure that I would stay long enough till I got my certification. And it inspired me to get my master's.
Wow.
Jody, I applied for my master's. Let's say the deadline was like May 5th at 12. I applied May 4th and submitted it at 11:37.
Oh my goodness.
That night.
What inspired you to want to get the master's? Was it just because of the people that you were working with in that position?
That's exactly what it was. It was the children that I was serving. Why are we the capital city and we don't have a group home? Or we have one group home.
For all those kids.
All those children. One group home, one shelter. They
It's not
already
enough.
are displaced and they're not in their homes. Case managers are coming a dime a dozen. Some people care, some people don't.
Yeah.
Because we're being overworked.
Yeah.
So I said, you know what? One mission and motto that I kind of got after doing child welfare was be the change that you want to see. I want everybody to take that with them. Be the change that you want to see. Because we're so big on, well, why would they won't do this? As if someone needs to change for you to be able to change.
Yeah. No, you could start.
You could start. Like Michael Jackson, it's the man in the mirror.
Yeah.
That's where it starts.
Yeah.
So I said, you know what? If I want these children to have more, I'm going to be more. And I'm going to create a space to be able to give them what they need. Because mental health is real.
It's a big thing.
It's a big thing. And I feel like just like people can go to the hospital when they're hurting, something's wrong, mental health resources should be that available.
Yeah.
And especially for minorities.
It's a big thing. Even in Atlanta, even when I was coming here, I saw a man, he was just sitting outside talking to himself. Attractive man, beautiful, like long locks, literally just walking down the street talking to himself. And there's so many people that need the help.
So many people
need the help.
Yes, I have a cousin who I don't even want to get emotional, but I'm just, it's real.
Yeah.
Mental health is real. People are really going through things. People have lost people that they depended on. And I just want to be that person.
Absolutely. And I feel like you're the perfect person to do that.
Thank you.
And I don't think God puts anything in your heart for no reason. So your love of makeup, your love of your company, and your
it was
love.
my way to reach people.
Absolutely. And if it's in your heart, it's for a reason.
Yep.
So I have no doubt that you'll be successful in that.
Thank you.
Yes. So speaking of loss, I do want to touch on this.
Yes.
And of course, we've kind of discussed privately.
Yes.
But I just think your story is going to help people.
Thank you.
According to Orlando Healthcare, 1 in 4 pregnancies ends in miscarriage. So that's not 1 in 4 women will have a miscarriage, but that's in all pregnancies. So 25% of pregnancies will end in grief. And I know that you unfortunately suffered a miscarriage. Could you kind of take us to like that moment, your thoughts, and where you are now with it?
So it happened maybe 2 years ago. I was 35. A little bit about me. So I've been dating for almost 5 years now.
We won't say his name, but hello.
Yes. Hey, Aquarius.
We love him. He's a good guy. That's a good man, Savannah. A good man.
Screaming. And we'll talk about that later. But so we've been going on 5 years. He's older. He's 46. Maybe at the time he was 44. No children. But children is something that was always important to me because I'm the only child. I have a small family.
More.
I really wanted more. So with this miscarriage, or that miscarriage was the only one I had, it was very sentimental to me.
Yeah.
For one, I found out like a day after Thanksgiving. And so, my parents. So I was like, that's going to be their Christmas gift. I said, I'm going to tell them on Christmas. When I tell you our plan is not of God, or God's plan, God has his own plan.
Yeah.
Probably 2 weeks before Christmas, we had just found out. We were holding it in. It was just us, I think, that knew about it. I may have told a couple of people, which that's another thing. When you first find out, I wouldn't tell
Don't
anybody.
tell anyone. They say that, but you're so excited, so it's kind of hard to contain it,
and it's funny because you'll think someone is happy for you. And I'm not saying any of those people weren't, but some.
Yeah.
So, anywho, keep it to yourself. So anyways, 2 weeks go by and I'm feeling pain. And so I go to the hospital, everything checked out. They're like, nothing's
You're fine.
wrong. You're fine. Me and the lady are talking. She's let me see the baby's heartbeat.
Oh my God. How far along were you?
I was about 9 weeks. So it was very early on, but it didn't matter. I was already, when I found out, the baby was mine.
Oh, absolutely. I'm excited. And then you're with someone that you love. You're excited for this new chapter in your life.
Yep. I was excited. And so each day, the pain just got a little bit more intense.
Like cramping.
Mm-hmm. 2 days after that, we go back to the hospital. When I tell you, it was just a different visit from when the first one. They wouldn't let me see the ultrasound. They were like, oh, no, we're not allowed to let people look. And I'm like, I just was in here and they let us look.
And I had no issues, yeah.
So anywho, after a course of a week or so, the pain just got more intense. I was put on bed rest and we go to the hospital, which I would like to say as well, the hospital was the worst. Okay.
Like the customer service?
The service was horrible. In Tallahassee, they have something called the Women's Pavilion, but you have to be about 16 weeks to even go in the Women's Pavilion where the pregnant women go. So I'm sitting out in the area in pain, like
waiting to be seen.
Waiting to be seen, to the point where my mom's like, I'm going to take you over to the other hospital. We go over to the other hospital. They're moving a little bit quicker. We go in the room, we're waiting. Even my boyfriend, his mom, she called me and prayed. She's a minister, heart down, prayed for me. No lie, the guy walks in, some young guy, he walks in, he's like, oh, here's the paper. So I'm like, what paper? So I'm looking and I'm like, he was like, oh yes, you're miscarrying. I'm like, wait, no one's gonna come in here or talk. He was like, it's on the paper, read.
Oh my goodness.
I'm like,
sir, this is a big deal in my life right now. So there was no empathy at all.
Wow. And a little bit after that, because I'm just open and I'm transparent, especially with my clients. They know a few of them out there. I've talked to them after it happened. This happened to me. Almost every one of them said I've had a miscarriage myself. And I'm like, what?
Really?
It's not even talked about. People just kind of deal with it and keep on going. But guess what? The trauma, the thoughts and stuff, they're still there.
Yeah.
Because when I was miscarrying again, my parents didn't even know I was pregnant because I was going to tell them for Christmas.
So she didn't know why you were at the hospital.
I had to call them and tell them. They're like, what? They're finding out I'm pregnant and miscarrying.
All
I
at the
literally
same time.
broke their heart, especially my dad. He was so hopeful, Jody. He was like, God has the last say so.
And her parents, y'all, are the sweetest, most wholesome people. Wow.
So we dealt with it. It's been about 2 years now. And just staying positive. Still appreciative of the stories and the rainbow stories that I see because I still feel like that's destined for me.
Yeah. And I mean, it's still your baby.
It's still my baby. It's still my baby. Yeah. Nobody could take that away from us.
Absolutely. How do you heal from that? What advice would you give to other women? Because as we could see, even when I was looking at research, this happens so often. 1 in 4 pregnancies. And like you said, no one's talking about it. I've never personally had a miscarriage, but I know people that have. And it's nothing like expecting something and wanting something and waiting for something and planning for something. It's like ordering a gift that never comes for you to be able to open it, you know?
Especially having to actually have it and everything. Like it's
like you said, that's traumatic. And that even goes back to mental health. Like we have to heal. As little as you think it might be, at least talk to someone about it. You know, we can't keep breezing things sweeping things under the rug.
Because everybody doesn't have a village. Everybody doesn't have a support system. Everybody doesn't have a friend.
Yeah, that's true.
They don't.
A lot of people
they
don't.
Trust.
Yeah, that's why a lot of people are carrying so much baggage with them. Yeah. What advice would you give to other women that are going to be listening to this that, you know, might have gone through a miscarriage or might go through a miscarriage in the future? What advice would you give?
For one, be open. If you choose to be open about it, talk to someone about it. And don't give up hope, but if it never happens to you, still just find that love, because, you know, like we were talking about last night, it's not everybody's story to have children.
Yeah.
It's not everybody's story to have multiple children. God may be wanting you to baby something else that you can give to the world. You know, like we brought up Oprah and how she doesn't have any children.
Yeah.
But in this instant, we're all kind of her children.
Oprah,
you know.
No, she is my godmother.
So
Little
God
do
may have
you know,
more.
Oprah. Yeah.
Yes, you have a rose, but God has a dozen to give you.
God has a garden.
He has a garden.
Even like we were talking about marriage. Maybe that's not your story.
Yeah.
Maybe you're meant to marry your ministry.
Yes.
You never know.
Yep.
You never know. Yeah. So find your tribe, people.
Yes.
Find your tribe. So let's carry on. So I will never forget when you called me. And it wasn't like, I think I have cancer. Because, you know, I'm always so optimistic. You're like, something about cancer. I was like, oh, friend, well, you going to be okay. You know, girl, you ain't going to have no cancer. And you were like, no, I have cancer. So I thought to myself, so according to thyroid.org, women are 3 times more likely to develop thyroid cancer than men. The American Cancer Society estimates that there will be about 44,000 new cases of thyroid cancer in the U.S. in 2024 compared to 43,000 in 2023. Wow. So I remember, and I'm like, girl, you're not going to get no cancer. We praying this stuff. And you were like, no. I have cancer. So I thought to myself as I was driving here, I'm like, gosh, it's so easy to be optimistic before the problem comes. But can you remain optimistic when you're in the fire? So when you said that you had cancer, I'm like,
what now?
Wow, what now? So how was that? Like, I couldn't even, when you told me that, I was just so like, you know, when your friends tell you something or you're going through something, I just felt so heavy when we got off the call. And I remember immediately praying for you.
Thank you.
What was that thought like? What was that first thought when they said you have cancer?
It was, first of all, again, healthcare, let's do better.
Let's do better.
They called me on a Friday and left a message and told me that the test came back, you know, malignant. And I'm like, what?
And then y'all closed on Saturday.
Right. What the hey? Like, so,
oh my, let's do better.
I called back. Now, I will say, with the type of cancer that I had, 98, I want to say 98.1 or something like that %. If they move the thyroid, the cancer's pretty much removed. However, mine had started wrapping around my vocal cord. Now, let's do a little mini pause break. God works in mysterious ways. And I'm just going to say this. I sing, but I don't sing. Like, I don't sing in front of people. I have to be really comfortable with you to be able to sing.
But her voice, it's giving.
Oh,
it's giving.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And when I say that, God gives us gifts and we're supposed to use them.
Absolutely.
And I almost feel like that was just a little tug at me to go, hey, if you don't want to use it,
I'm going to take it.
I could take it.
Yeah.
Because it's just ironic. It wraps around my vocal cord. The doctor was like, we had to go in, and she's like, I had to scrape it off.
Of your vocal cord?
Off my vocal cord, and she had to be careful so I could be able to talk.
Oh my goodness. So you could have lost your voice.
And for a while, maybe a couple of years afterwards, if I would get sick, I would always lose my voice. That's kind of gone away now. But thank God that it's, you know, the thyroid was removed. I have to take Synthroid for the rest of my life. I have to see my endocrinologist every 6 months, and he's
And
very.
what's synthroid? I'm sorry to cut you off.
It's kind of like replacing my thyroid, which your thyroid is like your metabolism.
Oh,
Which
okay.
it sucks because it kind of keeps me a little heavy because my metabolism is not existent.
Yeah.
It's not even
So
there.
you have to take that medicine to regulate
Yes.
it. Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
So I do that. I make sure to see him on a regular basis, and I'm still have to live with it. Not with the cancer, but I do have to be checked for it all the time. And then he just told me the other day, a lot of people who had thyroid cancer sometimes develop back cancer. So I'm really careful about
what
some
back
stuff.
cancer? I've never even heard of that.
Yeah, because you have to take this iodine, radioactive iodine.
Yeah.
Like whenever I would have surgery or random, like if they saw it sparking up or they saw little particles of it. And that's where I would take a pill, and I was literally radioactive.
Wow.
So I found out I had thyroid cancer as well when I had Lyndon, and I gained 80 pounds during the pregnancy. No one's supposed to gain 80 pounds during a pregnancy. So I found out either while I was pregnant or right after him. And so I had to wait to have him. He was maybe a couple of weeks old, and I had to go do the radioactive treatment. So so
you found out you had cancer a couple weeks after having your baby. Wow. And then you're a new mom.
New mom, you already know. My child's father went to prison when I was 3 months pregnant.
Yeah.
He didn't get
Girl,
out.
you done been through that. She got to sit on this couch, baby. Because
part one.
Yeah, this is just part one. Because we ain't even got to the good part. Baby.
So he's gone. He's not there. Woo. I'm pregnant. Like, I'm overweight. I look like Free Willy. Like, it is a lot. It is a lot.
I'm experiencing a lot right now.
So, but all of that really humbled me.
Yeah.
It really humbled me to just everything we go through. When you go through that thing, if you're faced with someone else who's going through it or similar to it, you have to just treat them how you would have wanted to be treated.
Yeah.
When you find out someone went to jail, don't go. You talking to somebody, mind your business.
Yeah.
You don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
When someone has a miscarriage, you don't get over it. It was just a couple.
You can't judge. And that's where it goes back to showing people the God in you. Give people grace.
Give people grace.
Give people love. Give people honesty. Give them care.
The best way we know how.
It. And this is our first time being human. No one knows how to travel through this experience, and none of us are perfect.
None of us are perfect. Yep. So
it's a constant journey.
Yeah. Yep. But I'm handling
How often do you go back and get checked? Is it once a year?
Every 6 months.
Every 6 months. Now that my dad has prostate cancer, I know I told you guys a few episodes ago and we talked about it, but I do see like a level of sometimes just sadness on him. Did you have that same experience? Like, were you scared? Like, am I going to die? Is this going to be...
I did.
Especially with a new baby.
When you say cancer, you begin supporting the people you're telling. Like, you tell someone that and they're like,
yeah,
they're freaking out. And now you're like, it's okay.
It's okay. And I'm the one going through cancer. Yeah.
Or like, some people try to be helpful. Like, I love my dad, but men sometimes. So I'm telling him, and he's going to laugh, but he knows, like, he goes, is it spreading? And I'm like, what? I don't know.
I just don't even want to talk to y'all right now. Yeah.
But even with it all, I'm so thankful, and I won't call names, but I have to admit, and I think I might have told you about this. Just a few years ago, I had 2 friends who were diagnosed with breast cancer 2 weeks apart from each other. And breast cancer is
no joke. No joke.
And they fought it. They went through it. They're still here.
And they're
living and surviving. So when I see stories like that almost...
Yeah.
But we were so young when I got diagnosed. A lot of y'all didn't know how to process that.
At all. Because I know I was probably one of them friends like, oh my God.
Yes, y'all did.
You don't know how to respond. Yeah.
So I kind of dealt with it by myself with my family.
Yeah.
And I think I dealt with it so much internally. People didn't really know what the journey was like.
Yeah.
So be open. Really be open.
And that's why I wanted to talk to you about it, because I could only imagine, like, our thoughts sometimes overtake us. Yes. And I know for me, sometimes if I sit and think on something, it makes the situation feel even worse. So I could only imagine getting a cancer diagnosis, the things that run through your mind. And when I pray for my dad now in the state that he's in, I pray for his mind.
Good.
Yeah.
He needs it. Because they aren't gonna, like, I got one friend, she didn't even want to tell us. She was not gonna tell us. I love you.
How
And
did
I'm
y'all
just-
find out?
So the one friend who is very open and just always has been open, it's like 7 of us from high school that have been friends, 7 Shades of Beauty.
Hello.
And that's how we met, Jay. We were crazy and retarded and just crazy.
Had a time.
And so she was like, it's so many of y'all, I'm gonna do a Zoom call. So she calls us, she don't tell us what it is. She say, I'm gonna call y'all at 7, we're gonna go on Zoom. So in her midst of calling people to let them know about Zoom, she talks to the other friend. She goes, I was just diagnosed 2 weeks ago.
Oh my goodness.
So they get on there, and they tell us. Now, I'm going to just be open because this is a transparent place.
Yeah.
I had a friend who was a friend. She's still a friend, but it got a little rocky during that event because she told one of them she wasn't going to get on the call because we're not friends. Like, we don't talk all the time. Like she felt like because she doesn't talk to us every day or all the time that, like, I don't want to be on the call. And I said, how insensitive. You know me, I'm very blunt. And I'm very open.
And to the point.
And I said, how insensitive. This is not about you. This is
Yeah.
about them. So what? We don't talk every day. We still love each other.
Yeah. And we're still friends.
And so that kind of went the wrong way. And I kind of hate it because then I look like the villain for even saying something.
Yeah.
So that's weird. But hey, that's life.
Sometimes you got to be the bad guy.
And I don't mind.
And that it's okay.
And I did, and we worked it out, and I could still see her, and I love her, and I wish the best
and
for
it's
her.
no love lost.
It's no love lost.
It's never any love
None.
lost.
But I'm very protective of what I love
Yeah.
and my friends and stuff like that. I love all of you guys. I think about you guys all the time. I pray for you.
Vice versa.
When they were going through that, I really made it my business to remember doctor's appointments, to contact them, because I wouldn't be upset if you admitted maybe when I was younger, I might have been a little bit more selfish,
Mm-hmm.
And I was the only child. I didn't even realize I was doing some things by how I act or, because it was just me,
And you're used to being by yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I look back now and I'm like, ooh, I could have seen how that could have came off the wrong way.
Yeah.
So now I just live a more intentional life when I am in the presence of my friends. I try to be careful and I try to
be mindful. For you to say, though, that you grew up an only child,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like out of all the people that I've been friends with, you are always very mindful. Mm-hmm. And I feel like you've always been a girl's girl.
I am.
For you not to have, be the only child and not grow up with siblings, I feel like you are even more so a girl's girl than I am. And I got 11 siblings. Hello, siblings.
My mom had me at 18. And she's not a girly girl. She's actually really conservative.
Yeah.
But my mom allowed me to be me. She really did.
I love your mom is like
she is.
She is like a baby angel.
I
know
so
she
weird.
is gonna
I have
be
good parents.
She is so welcoming.
Both of them.
And she makes a mean pot roast, y'all. I always talk about this woman. So I'm like, your mom making pot roast?
Yes.
I would go to their
and they
house.
love Jody.
Oh my God.
The jeans. Jody.
Listen, we gotta tell the story. So Carnesia's grandma, I don't know if she was getting rid of clothes.
Yeah.
And she was like, oh, I think you could fit these jeans.
They were old.
They were literally jeans that were up here. Me being me, I'm just like, oh, I like them.
She tried to give you like mini pants.
Oh my goodness. And we both are looking at each other. We're like,
where are you going?
I'm like, oh, thank you, Granny. Thank you. But she was so sweet. So sweet. God bless her soul.
Yes.
I remember, girl, we have stories.
We have stories.
For days.
We do.
For days.
Yes.
For days. So let's talk about love. I don't even need my notes anymore. So, like you said, you've been in a long-term relationship for 5 years. And when we were talking yesterday and talking about all these podcasts that I listen to, I love the Dear Future Wifey podcast because I think it kind of gives you perspective into a man's mind, a woman's mind. But outside of that, it also gives you perspective into marriage on what it looks like, the trials, the tribulations. But one thing that you mentioned yesterday was being in a relationship takes commitment. What does that mean to you? Because 5 years is a long time.
In this generation, it's like dog years.
Girl, that's about 50 years.
5 years, it's like, I'm like, yes, me
Girl,
and
55
me and
days?
him, like, it's, girl.
5 days, I'm thinking we married on Friday.
Honey,
Truly.
because it's a commitment.
It's a commitment.
And both people have to understand that.
Yeah.
We have really tried to make a choice to not give up on each other. based on how we felt when we first met each other and how it happened. Because I think I told you, none of us, we were both not expecting to be in a relationship. And we both were kind of not even each other's types.
Yeah. That's typically when it happens.
That's
though.
how it happens.
Always when it
and
happens.
That's how I know it's a commitment. Because how many times you're with someone, you're lusting after them. And my man looks good.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, where it's just all like, just that.
Yeah.
It's nothing else.
There's
don't
no
give
other
nothing.
substance to it.
Nothing.
Yeah, that's why you can't get caught up, I think, in what someone looks like or them being your type.
No.
Because sometimes your type is what you want, but it's usually never what you
Best
need.
for you.
And you know what our type is. Girl, God. You've been delivered. I've
been delivered, honey. Yes, but he'll give you what you want too. Because my thing is, I wanted someone smart. I wanted someone who worked. Who had a driver's license. And I know that sounds basic, but people ain't got their license.
Literally.
I'm not picking
or
you up.
Suspended. Sure, no.
Always
and I think,
suspended.
too, men that are watching this, do not shoot your shot if you have not been training,
Get
if you
yourself
have not
together.
been practicing, if you have not been studying the game, because you're going to miss shooting your shot.
Yeah.
Okay, but
Get
carry
yourself
on. Yeah,
together.
so commitment. So
yes, so we met. He was very open and transparent. He was like, I'm not ready for a relationship. That's not like what I'm trying to do. And I had found peace like none other.
Yeah.
I had went through working, transitioning, had a baby, the cancer, and my child's father who went to prison. And I said, you know what? I'm about to start living life for myself.
Yeah.
Okay. So I went and finished my degree at FAMU. And I met him a couple of years later. But we've been together every day since.
Wow.
Literally.
Wow.
It was just more of the communication. It was who he was as a person. It wasn't because of me, he's who he is.
Yeah.
Now, true enough, I may support him in a lot of ways, but he wanted to do these things and be a better person for himself.
Sometimes I think you can inspire people too.
You can.
Yeah.
You can. Or if you're worth it, a guy will go, I know that this girl is amazing and I need to, do what I need to do.
To be with her,
Yeah.
yeah. Sometimes you can inspire people to
Yes,
change or to become
but
more.
he inspires me as well.
Yeah.
He and his story is beautiful and he just doesn't give up. And it's a commitment. It's a commitment and you just have to commit to it and say, you know what? I know that they're someone different.
Yeah.
I know I could be with someone else,
But
if
I
they're
want
worth
you.
it, y'all make a commitment.
Make a commitment. And I feel like if you want that person, you have to be willing to make that commitment.
Oh, yeah.
But our generation, I feel like we're not willing to make that commitment.
No.
Because we're only caring about what's on the surface.
And what someone can give you.
And that's it.
What restaurant they can take you to.
And outside of that, what are you going to do?
What are you going to do?
When they have no money or they can't give you anything or if they get sick, what do you have?
Yeah, nothing.
What do you have? All right. So we talked about commitment in relationships, which of course we know is very important because you got to be committed to anything that you want to be successful at. But in a relationship, it also takes sacrifice. What does that mean to you, sacrifice?
So it's so funny because I don't feel like I've had to sacrifice enough, a lot in this relationship. If anything, we've poured so much into each other. It's like almost a gift of love. Like God wants to see us together. And when he sees
powerful.
you, it's the truth. When he sees you with someone and you're doing well, he blesses you.
Wow.
It's
when
like
you're with the right one.
When you're with the right one.
Yeah, when you're with the right one.
When you're with the right
Wow.
one, we pour into each other. We give to each other mentally, emotionally.
Yeah.
So there's not, now he will say sacrifice as far as, and I need to not stop spending so much money.
But she needs things.
And I will, that's coming
We're
up.
getting there. Working on
spring
me.
27.
Truly.
But, but outside of that, it's really more of the sacrifice. It's more of not really sacrifice, but decreasing so that we can increase.
That's deep.
Okay.
Say that again.
Decrease so that we can increase.
Wow.
Okay, so
Wow.
it's easy for me to try to get the last word. How is that going to do for y'all with the rest of the day?
Yeah.
Okay, stop. So having those moments of, I used to do this, but is this going to be best for us? And just being mindful
is a big thing.
Also, I want to say, I encourage anyone while you're single, while you're dating, before you even date, love yourself.
Yes. So important.
It ain't about the other person.
Yeah.
It's about you.
Yep.
Because you're going to find the person that matches the level of how you love yourself.
Mm-hmm. That's so true.
If you're meeting busters, you're a buster to yourself.
That's so true.
Men, like we talked about as well last night, they are, we have women's intuition. I don't know what men will call it, but they just know.
They know, yeah.
When they see a girl, they know how they're going to deal with you. They know how they're going to treat you. And it's usually based off how you treat yourself.
Absolutely. And how you carry yourself.
Exactly.
It's very important.
So, and it's not just for women, but men and women. Love yourself first. Take this time. Be single.
Yeah.
Water your garden. Pour into yourself. You cannot give someone something out of your cup if your cup is empty.
Yeah.
Pour into yourself, and then God will make sure the right person comes to you. So when you are sacrificing, it doesn't even feel like a sacrifice.
Absolutely.
You know, it's a union. Is what we the committed thing we need to do to keep going.
I love that you said decrease so you could increase, because I think sometimes people, they don't want to decrease.
No.
So both of you guys want to stay the same, so we can't grow together because we both want to stay the same. Yeah.
Yes.
It's like
take a step back.
Taking off your ego hat to really enter a union with somebody else.
And that was tough for us because you'll learn too, opposites attract.
Always.
Me and him are, girl, if he say yes, I say no.
Yeah.
He say black, I say white. But we're yin and yang. We literally
There's
are.
a balance.
It's a balance, and we're able to see things from different perspectives from someone I know and someone I love and trust.
Yeah.
So our communication styles in the beginning were a little bit different. When I'm upset, I need to talk. And I need you to explain to me. And and he's alpha male. He's like, I'm not talking. Okay, I'm going to sit over here in my little circle and I don't want to say nothing. I was so offended at first. I'm like, he doesn't even think I'm worthy. Like, you don't even want to talk to me.
Communication style. I do.
And so we learned, you got to talk.
You have to
And then
talk.
I learned everything doesn't need an explanation.
Yeah.
So we had to meet each other halfway. And with doing that, we're birthing healthier communication.
And I think everything is not an argument. You have to pick your
Everything
battles.
isn't an argument.
You have to pick your battles.
Yeah.
I know, like you said, you have to love yourself. I think this is like the most fun that I've had being single. I'm now like, oh my God, I really value myself.
Girl, yes.
Like,
enjoy this time.
It is amazing to love yourself, to pour into yourself. I think so highly of myself. And now anyone that does approach me, I'm never settling again.
Yep.
Because there's been so many times that I have never
Don't settle.
Yeah. Please love yourself if you're single. Don't just accept anything that's dangling in your face just because you want to feel your loneliness, just because you want to say you have a man or you want to say you have a woman. I think it's more important to say that you have yourself.
Yep. Stand for nothing, fall for anything.
Absolutely.
So you need to stand for something, because if not, you'll fall for anything.
And you'll take anything that comes your way.
Exactly.
And a lot of times, like you were saying earlier, God will give you what you want.
He will.
You need to pray for God to give you what you need.
Exactly.
I don't even want anything I want. When I look back on relationships that I have, I'm like, I didn't even.
None of them people.
No, it's what I want. And God said, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You got it.
All
Here
right.
you go.
And then a couple months later, God, please get me out of this relationship. Oh, you're back, are you?
And
every time.
So I learned, hey, it's what you want me to have.
What you want me to have, yes. What's one thing that you will say to us single folks?
Ooh. Again, enjoy this time. Because once you find that person,
you might be together every day, like you said.
Baby, okay? And, and it's so funny because a part of him is still a male who, like, in his mind, he like, I kind of would want to be free. But we end up being back together. Like,
because, you guys love each other's energy.
Yes.
And you guys' energy, though, to me, just matches.
It does.
It feels like you guys have kind of known each other before. When I was around you guys for your
friend.
Yeah.
And that's what I prayed for.
I think that's the most important thing.
He's my protector.
Yeah.
Sometimes even with my family, like, I'm always late, Jody.
Always late.
And
Y'all,
I know we
she
gotta hurry
always
up.
late.
But it was a Christmas and we were doing a photo shoot and everybody was like, because they call me Nikki, and they're like, Nikki need to hurry up, blah, blah, blah. So they go to him and they're like, hey, tell her to hurry up. Now, most people would be like, honey, hurry up. He goes, he's still getting ready. If y'all want to go ahead and head down there, you can, but I'm like, my man.
I know
okay,
that's right.
I'll be down there. Okay.
Listen,
so
I know you were like, I love him.
I do. Even though my mom was like, no, she needs to hurry up. But just having someone to stand up for you and be your protector. And I don't have to tell him how to treat me. And he wasn't even raised to treat women that way.
And you shouldn't have to tell anyone how to treat you.
You don't tell anyone how to treat you. You
Yeah.
don't. Men are natural born hunters. If they want it, they're gonna go get it. If they aren't chasing you, you aren't the one they want, and you're wasting your time.
And please don't chase after anyone. Anything you are meant to have,
propose to a man.
Please don't.
I'm
Sweep
sorry.
sand before you do. I hate to see it. That's a whole nother story.
Yes.
Goodness. Yes. So as you guys are dating, as I'm dating in this single life, love yourself. Love yourself and pray about what you want.
Oh yeah.
Be intentional about what you want. And really, the same things that you are looking for in someone else, you need to be that yourself.
You got to be able to give that.
Yeah, you got to be able to give that. I've noticed a lot of people want things that they not
can't even give.
Yeah, they're not it already. If you want all these things, you need to be that too. A lot of people want a high value man, a high value woman. Are you a high value person?
Period.
And that's that.
That's why they were mad at Kevin Samuels. But that's what he was reminding people.
I'm just saying, he was spending a lot of facts. I don't want no one to attack me, but let's see the truth in what he was saying though. Yeah. Instead of attacking it, sometimes you got to say, you know what? Just like with parents, your parents tell you, "Hey, you shouldn't have did this." I don't want to hear that right now, Mom.
Yeah.
And then I go back, "Hey,
yeah,
you were right.
Exactly.
You were right.
Be the change you want to see.
Absolutely.
Be the partner you want.
Exactly. So as we get ready to close, what do you want to manifest? Because I was, people are like, oh, what do you want in the next 5 years? Let's just make this like
my vocal vision.
Yeah, thank you. Girl, telepathically, that's exactly what I was trying to say.
Yes.
Your vocal vision.
Our energy.
Listen, your vocal vision board. And, when two or more gather together.
Yes.
It's going to come to
yes,
pass.
Ma'am.
Yes.
Amen. I just want to be healthy. I want it to come naturally. Healthy as in like with my health.
Yeah.
Mentally stable, to be able to serve others. I really want to just ace this master's program.
And you will.
And I'm claiming it.
Yes.
I want to graduate with honors. I want to show people they can do it. Because even when I transfer from an HBCU to PWI, people are like, you can do it too.
You can do it too, yeah.
So
it's possible.
I just want to be a role model. I love being a mom. I love my baby so much. I love my son.
He's in here, y'all.
He is my joy. He really, really is. So I just want to be better. I want to give him everything he needs to be successful.
Absolutely.
I want to be a better daughter. I want to be a better friend.
Yes.
I want to be a good wife. I just want to keep increasing my worth.
Keep becoming.
Yes.
I'm on that same journey. I want to literally keep becoming and be the best version of myself.
Yes.
And, I'm going to hold you accountable to all these things that you say, but I have no doubt that you are going to manifest everything that's in your mind. I feel like I've seen you do so much and become so much, and I look forward to seeing all the beautiful things that you do.
Thank you.
Yes.
Received.
So, yes, truly, honestly. So I'm going to start these statements and then you're going to finish them. Whatever comes to mind, whatever comes to your heart. I always like to close this and it's kind of cool seeing how people respond because everyone we're so different, but yet we're so connected.
Similar.
Yeah. So the first one is I am.
I am a queen.
Amen. Amen. And you always have had queen energy, honestly. Before girls were calling themselves queens. She was.
Yes.
Thank you. I can
do all things through Christ that strengthens me.
Amen. I know that's right.
Yes.
I will
be more intentional and mindful.
Absolutely. Love is
I'm a deep thinker. Love is reciprocal.
Mm. And last one, God is.
God is you and me.
Yes.
Me and you. Us.
Guys, that was episode 26 with my homegirl, Carnesia Anderson. This message was so beautiful. This felt like like last night.
Yes.
This was literally last night. And I hope you guys are inspired. Please know that you are not the only one going through transition, going through heartbreak, cancer, miscarriage, whatever it is, you are not the only one experiencing it. So I hope you're inspired by this story. I hope that you know that you are loved. We care about you. We're thinking about you. We're praying for you. So this is the Heart Helper podcast. Be sure to visit thehearthelper.com where you can get our self-care subscription boxes because, of course, we're on a mission to help people manage the mind, strengthen the spirit, and, of course, always honor the heart. This is the Heart Helper podcast.